Audio Jungle.
Hello, my name is Howard Cook. I'm the owner of Bay Area Retrofit. That's a local contracting company, and I've been doing this for 25 years. And I'm going to talk to you about retrofitting apartment buildings. Now, there's some apartment buildings you're familiar with, I'm sure, called soft stories, but there's also other types of apartment buildings that need different types of retrofits. So first, we're going to go over cripple wall retrofits, then we're going to go over no cripple wall retrofits, then we're going to go to hillside home retrofits, and then we're going to go over soft story retrofits. So we're going to go over all those things right now. It's the geology that makes all of this important, and I want to show you what the historical record tells us. So between this large earthquake and this large earthquake, it was 183 years. Now between this large earthquake and this large earthquake, it was 158 years. And then between this large earthquake and this large earthquake, it was 153. And then from this earthquake to this earthquake, 97. And then from this earthquake to this earthquake, 142. Now, I'd like to point out that right now we are actually at 153 years and counting, meaning it's been 153 years since we had the last big earthquake in 1868. So what that means is we've now exceeded this 142. We've exceeded this 97. We're on a par with the 153. We're almost at the 158 and the 183. Oh, it might be 30 years. So what that's showing us is, a big earthquake is certainly, on the horizon. And all of us may go through it. In fact, a good chance we're going to go through it because it is so likely, according to what geologists tell us. Here is a study made by the Association of Bay Area Governments where they looked at the housing stock here in the San Francisco Bay Area to figure out how many people are going to be displaced. And at the same time, they had to look at the housing stock to see what kind of damage there would be because that defined how many people would be displaced. And multifamily dwellings, as you have, are part of that. So look at this report and see what it has to say about multifamily dwellings and earthquake damage. So right here we see that it's for Alameda County, and we come down here and we see that there will be a total of 82,563 dwellings. So that means, apartments, houses, everything. However, you come down here and look at this. This is what's really shocking. Is 37% of Alameda County's multifamily housing stock will be deemed uninhabitable. So that's pretty significant. That's a huge segment of the housing stock. And the reason these cities, including Albany, Berkeley, Oakland, San Francisco, they're aware of this statistic. And they're trying to protect the public. They're trying to protect you. They're trying to protect the public. They're trying to protect everybody because this problem with the multifamily housing stock is so significant that there's a big need to prepare for it. At the same time, I'm sure as apartment owners, you're concerned about the people who live in your homes. And 204,497 people, and those include the people who live in your buildings, are going to be displaced. And this could all be prevented by a good seismic retrofit. This report was written by some of the most knowledgeable experts in the country, not only scientists, but specialists in disaster and crisis management. So if you look down this list, you'll see all sorts of people who contributed here and, of all different fields. So for example, you'll see environmental engineers, you'll see building officials, you see structural engineers, you see other people who look at financial impact. So everyone you could imagine went into this effort to see what we can expect here in the San Francisco Bay Area when the Hayward Fault ruptures. The information in this report should be given a lot of weight because it's based on actual studies of damage. So the scientists and specialists in earthquake hazard mitigation and all those ones you looked at, they actually looked at the data from the Loma Prieta and the Northridge earthquakes. And so rather than counting on or using computer modeling, they actually looked at the data. They looked at, the number of houses that were red tag, what happened to the hillside homes, what happened to the apartment buildings, what happened to the 1 stories, the 2 stories, the 3 stories. They looked at everything to come up with this information in this report. So when it says that 37% of the multifamily buildings, the apartments, are going to be severely damaged, that's a fact, and you can rely on that. And if you're concerned about your building, you might want to do something about it.